Yo, what's up, YouTube? In today's video, we're gonna get vulnerable with each other and get to know each other better, and do some self-improvement work. I've been in a rut lately a little bit, and I know some of my friends have been in a rut lately a little bit. So I'm just gonna show you some things that I do personally to get out of unproductive ruts or unproductive spells. So first, we're gonna talk about me personally, what personally keeps me from being productive a little bit, and how I use that to change it to my benefits. So it benefits me basically. But this is the first video. We're gonna skip through this video too.
Don't just focus, you hyper-focus. Like 6 mid-task disorders that come with secret powers. Number 1, ADHD.
Yes. ADHD has a lot of superpowers. This is probably my number one skill is from ADHD, which is hyperfocus. But
You got distracted again. Mid-sentence, mid-task, mid-life plan, and boom. Now you're on a deep dive about ancient sword forging techniques. Because a pencil reminded you of a blacksmith documentary you saw in 2014. Classic ADHD, right? Except, beneath the chaos and noise, there's a weird kind of superpower humming under the hood. Because when something actually grabs your brain, you don't just focus, you hyper-focus. Like 6 hours of laser-eyed obsession, no bathroom breaks, forgot to eat kind of focus. It's like your brain was built for boss battles, not tutorials. And then there's the creativity. ADHD minds don't think in straight lines. They throw spaghetti at the mental wall and somehow invent Wi-Fi. You're not just thinking outside the box. You lit the box on fire and started a new genre of ideas. Also, pattern recognition. You'll notice a vibe shift in the room, remember tiny details everyone else missed, and connect thoughts like a conspiracy theorist with a red string wall. Except sometimes, you're right. Of course, it's not all upgrades and upvotes. Living with ADHD is like trying to ride a wild horse with no saddle and 14 browser tabs open in your brain. But given the...
That's not cap. ADHD has literally destroyed my life. But luckily, I got treatment for my ADHD via medicine and various other habits that I developed, and through writing my manga and writing period. Helped me overcome some of the things that ADHD hindered me from doing.
The right environment, structure, support, and freedom to chase lightning, you will shine bright like a diamond. You're not just distracted, you're a mental thunderstorm sponsored by chaos and caffeine. Number 2, OCD. Let's get one thing straight.
I don't have OCD, so we're not going to watch that one. I also don't have autism, so we won't be going through that one, but I do have bipolar disorder.
Imagine your brain flips a switch and suddenly you're a one-person startup, motivational speaker, and Broadway performer all at once. That's hypomania. Not happy, not extra productive. We're talking idea tsunamis, charisma cranked to 100, and a to-do list that's scared of you. Let's be clear, bipolar disorder isn't a superpower. But the hypomanic phase, that's the part where your brain goes, who needs sleep, doubt, or food when you've got momentum and dopamine? You become magnetic, creative, visionary. It's not just energy, it's velocity. People start wondering if you're a genius. Spoiler, sometimes you are. You'll write 5 chapters, build an app, pitch a startup, reorganize your kitchen, and call it a slow Tuesday. But
that's basically my life. I literally can focus in all day on writing and come up with so many pages, but and then mine is a mixture of ADHD, hyperfocus, and bipolar hypomania. So it'd be real intense. It's like a whole personality shift into a personality that's super locked in.
Here's the hard drive warning. This isn't sustainable fuel. It burns hot, fast, and dangerously close to the edge. Because after the high comes the crash. And the crash is brutal. Still, that spark, that glimpse of superhuman output, is real. Many of history's innovators, artists, and rebels, they weren't just eccentric. They were riding the storm cycle between brilliance and burnout. So yes, bipolar isn't a life hack. But within the firestorm, there's power. And with the right support, structure, and safety net, that power can change the game. Number 5, mild.
Yes, I have treatment for my bipolar disorder as well, and I also have mild depression. But mine is treatment resistant depression, so it's a little bit stronger than mild depression. But you know, you get the gist though. Type shit.
Depression. Hear me out. Depression is brutal. There is no sugarcoating it. But when it's not full-on soul collapse mode, there's something strange happening under the emotional fog. You become weirdly accurate. While everyone else is out here manifesting yachts and journaling affirmations, your brain's whispering, actually, the system's broken, and Chad's crypto coin is a scam. This is called depressive realism. And yeah, it's a thing. Studies show that people with mild depression tend to make more rational, grounded, and realistic assessments of the world. It's not negativity. It's data clarity. You're not drowning. You're analyzing the water for contamination. You notice red flags faster. You don't fall for hype. And when the vibes are fake, you feel it before anyone else. Also, the rumination spiral, where your brain replays the same thoughts over and over, it's hell. But it's also the foundation of deep introspection.
Yes, like my rumination helps me so much because I let me think about everything. I think about every situation that I ever been in. I think about every future situation I could be in. I think about every aspect and detail of every little thing at all waking hours. And it does help me be accurate in like my own predictions about what's going to happen in the future, or be realistic about what's going on in my life, and that lets me like take actionable steps to break those habits.
It's like your mind built a sub-basement under your personality, where it stores all your existential downloads. Yes, it hurts. Some of the world's sharpest minds didn't find clarity in sunshine and smoothies. They found it knee-deep in existential mud. They got it from sitting alone in the dark, watching the world burn, and taking notes. And no, I'm not saying depression is a gift. It's a disorder that needs to be taken seriously. But when it's not completely eating you alive, it gives you a lens that filters out the fluff and focuses on what's real. Number 6, schizotypal personality disorder.
I got schizoaffective personality disorder or whatever. But this one is relevant too.
You ever connect two things that no one else sees? Like, a cloud formation reminds you of a childhood fear, which triggers a philosophical theory that rewrites how you think about frogs? Welcome to the beautiful chaos of schizotypal traits, where abstract associations aren't bugs in the system, they're Easter eggs. Now, this isn't full-blown schizophrenia. This is the lighter, weirder cousin. People with schizotypal traits tend to be abnormal, intensely creative, and a little out of touch with reality. Like they're always halfway between a TED Talk and a dream sequence. Their minds are pattern magnets, not just the obvious kind, but wild, symbolic, myth-level connections that seem random until they're not. This is where surreal art, sci-fi plots, revolutionary ideas, and spiritual metaphors are born. It's not random. It's just non-linear genius trying to speak in riddles. These folks often score sky-high in outside-the-box thinking, the kind of brain power that generates 50 ideas in the time it takes someone else to open a Google Doc. And yeah, it can get lonely. The world doesn't always vibe with your unfiltered cosmic ideas. But when your mind starts coloring outside the lines, it's not confusion. It's creativity refusing to ask for permission. You're not broken. You're just using a different color palette. So no, it's not normal. It's imaginative architecture drawn by a mind that doesn't follow blueprints. It invents its own dimensions. And that's how myth, art, and new worlds begin. Thanks for watching Humans. And thank you for the 16,000 people who...
Now, we're going to talk about how to get over some of these things and how a person get over the things that afflict me. What are some habits and some tips to overcome stuff like that? Here it is. So this is the first video.
The 90-minute rule. Focus like a laser. It's 8 a.m. Jacob, a 32-year-old freelance designer, makes a cup of coffee and sits down at his desk. But instead of checking emails or scrolling social media, he does something weird. He sets a timer for 90 minutes and jumps straight into his most mentally demanding task. No distractions allowed. Why? Because our brains naturally function in 90-minute cycles called ultradian rhythms. During these cycles, your brain hits peak alertness, creativity, and focus. Top performers, chess grandmasters, Olympic athletes, even elite students swear by this rhythm. Instead of grinding for 6 hours straight and feeling fried, Jacob works in 90-minute chunks followed by a 15-minute break. The result? He gets more done by noon than he used to in an entire day. And his brain?
I do this. I take frequent breaks because it replenishes your creativity and gives your mind a break from the monotony of the task that you're doing, or how difficult the task is. And the more breaks that you have, I feel like the more efficient your brain runs. So I think that's true.
It feels like it's firing on all cylinders. The morning walk, a brain bath in motion. After his first 90-minute session, Jacob heads outside. No headphones, just a 20-minute walk. Here's the science. When you walk, especially in nature, your brain goes into what's called default mode network, a kind of idle brain state where creative thinking thrives. It's the same network that lights up when you're daydreaming or brainstorming ideas. But there's more. Walking increases blood flow to the brain, reduces stress hormones, and even boosts the size of your hippocampus, the memory center of your brain. In other words, a short walk is like giving your brain a full-body massage. Think walking is lazy. Steve Jobs held walking meetings. Beethoven walked daily to spark ideas. Turns out, movement is intelligence in motion. Brain food. Fuel isn't what you think. At noon, Jacob eats. But it's not a giant, greasy meal that leaves him sluggish. He sticks to foods that support neurotransmitters, the chemicals your brain uses to think clearly and feel good. His go-to? Salmon, rich in omega-3s. A side of blueberries, loaded with antioxidants, and a bit of dark chocolate for dessert. Yup, chocolate boosts blood flow to your brain. But more than what he eats, it's how he eats. No screens, no scrolling, just mindful eating. Because multitasking while eating hijacks digestion, spikes cortisol, and makes you forget you even ate. By respecting his meals, Jacob gives his brain the...
That's something that I've been trying to implement in my life, just taking time for mindful eating and not multitasking, because I always got to get a video before I eat something or before I do something. Always need that video. But I'm trying to break out of that habit.
The nutrients and presence it needs to reset for the second half of the day. Digital fast, taming the dopamine demon. Around 3 p.m., Jacob does something most people avoid. He disconnects. No phone, no social media, no notifications. See, every ping, buzz, or like gives your brain a little hit of dopamine. It feels good, at first, but too much dopamine too often creates a vicious cycle. Less focus, more cravings, and a brain that's constantly hunting for its next hit instead of settling into deep thought. By creating tech-free zones, Jacob is rewiring his brain to enjoy stillness. That stillness is where deep thinking, problem-solving, and long-term memory are built. It's like turning down the noise so you can finally hear the music. The Curiosity Hour, feeding the inner child. Around 5 p.m., instead of crashing on the couch with Netflix, Jacob reads. Not self-help, not productivity hacks, just something he's genuinely curious about. Why? Because curiosity triggers the brain's reward system. It lights up the same areas that respond to chocolate and money. And the craziest part? When you're curious, your brain remembers better. Even unrelated information you learn at the same time. Whether it's a documentary, a podcast, or a weird Wikipedia rabbit hole.
Literally, I'm always being curious. I'm always researching something about space or history or philosophy or sociology or just random things, how to get better. And I just feel like that has made me such a better person and able to synthesize this knowledge to help me in incredible ways. Like, I have so much to draw upon when I write my manga because I research so much. Stories just come out far better and colder and stuff. Yeah, so please learn all the time.
Curiosity is mental cardio. It's how your brain stretches, learns, and stays young. You don't stop learning because you get old. You get old because you stop learning. The cold shower. At 6:30 p.m., Jacob hops in the shower, but not a warm one, a cold one. Wait, cold showers? Yeah, they suck. But here's why Jacob does it. Because short bursts of cold exposure do something wild to your brain. They activate norepinephrine, a neurotransmitter that increases alertness, attention, and mood. It's nature's Adderall with 0 side effects. Plus, cold showers trigger resilience. They train your brain to handle discomfort, which translates into better emotional...
I don't know about this one, Chad. I'm black. I'm not finna get in no cold shower. But I get it, though. I try to stay in cold rooms and do other stuff that makes me cold to increase my brain power, though. But I'm not finna take no cold shower, though. No. Nah.
Control in daily life. Uncomfortable? Sure. But the feeling afterward, like a lightning bolt, hit his brain in the best way possible.
Mind you, I'm in the background rumming up some weed, so... yeah.
The sleep defense, where real growth happens. By 10 p.m., Jacob is winding down. No screens, no scrolling. Just a book, dim lights, and maybe a little journaling. Sleep isn't just rest, it's neurogenesis. While you sleep, your brain clears out toxins, consolidates memories, and builds new neural connections. Skip good sleep, and all the brain power you...
Yes, chat. Go to sleep, bro. Like, I'm diagnosed also with insomnia and anxiety, so it's definitely hard for me to go to sleep because of rumination and insomnia. But ever since I started getting ever since I started taking my medication for insomnia and started to go to bed earlier, I've been feeling much better and I'm far more productive, like, during the daytime and period. Yeah, it's just healthy for you.
Built during the day starts to erode. Jacob aims for 7 to 9 hours, and he treats it like sacred time. Because the most powerful habit for boosting brain power is also the simplest one we often ignore. Your brain literally grows while you sleep. Miss it, and you miss the upgrade. Light movement. Movement that doesn't break you. It's 7 p.m., and Jacob isn't hitting the gym like a madman. Instead, he's stretching, doing light yoga, or taking a slow bike ride while listening to jazz. No grunting, no PRs. Why? Because light exercise boosts BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, which acts like Miracle-Gro for your brain cells. It's not just about moving your body. It's about gently stirring the brain's chemicals that promote neuroplasticity, creativity, and mood. People think only intense workouts matter, but ironically, slow, intentional movement often supercharges the brain without draining the body. It clears mental fog, lowers cortisol, and gets the mind ready for reflection or learning. Jacob's not chasing abs, he's chasing mental clarity, and this habit delivers it in spades. The One Problem Journal. Before bed, Jacob opens his journal, but instead of dumping his feelings or writing random thoughts, he writes about one single unsolved problem from his day. No solution, just the problem. It might be a creative block, a business decision, or a life dilemma. He outlines it, reframes it, and then closes the journal. This primes the brain for a fascinating phenomenon: sleep processing. The brain keeps working on unresolved questions while you sleep, often delivering aha moments in the shower the next day. This nightly habit...
I swear to God, this works. Like, when I'm writing, I'll just go do something else or go to sleep. Or after a long day of writing, I'll just go to sleep and I'll just think about the question before I go to bed. And then the next day, the solution pops up almost every single time. Almost every time it pops up. I don't understand how that works. It's so amazing to me, but it works.
Wires Jacob's brain to look for solutions instead of stress. Over time, it builds strategic thinking, emotional detachment, and, strangely, confidence. Because solving problems becomes a muscle, not a panic response. Vision reminder. dopamine with direction. Every morning, Jacob glances at something taped above his desk. A note with one sentence. His long-term goal. Not a task, not a to-do list. A vision. Why? Because your brain needs a North Star. Without it, the dopamine system goes haywire, chasing short-term wins, scrolling endlessly, and rewarding instant gratification over meaningful progress. This habit isn't about motivation. It's about wiring the reward system to crave delayed gratification. By tying his daily efforts to a future goal, Jacob's brain starts treating effort like a win. It actually begins enjoying the process. And when your brain loves the grind, you become unstoppable. The mental load dump. Clearing RAM before bed. It's 9:30 p.m. Jacob's about to wind down, but first, he grabs a blank notepad and scribbles down every single thing on his mind. Big or small. Groceries, worries, project ideas. That thing.
I used to do this all the time. Every time I wake up in the morning, I used to write down everything that was on my mind for like 10 minutes. And that would make me think. That would make me like clear my entire head and then ideas. And I feel like that gave me space for like more ideas to come in, more creativity to come in.
He forgot to email. He dumps it all. Messy, fast, and unfiltered. Why? Because your brain isn't designed to store tasks. It's designed to solve them. Keeping to-dos in your head burns mental energy and creates background anxiety. Psychologists call this the Zeigarnik effect, the tendency of the brain to stay alert to unfinished business. By doing a mental unload, Jacob tricks his brain into feeling like the loop is closed. The result? Deeper sleep, lower stress, and a fresh mental slate for tomorrow. Curiosity burst. Mind expansion on a timer. Before diving into focused work in the afternoon, Jacob sets a 5-minute timer and explores one random question he doesn't know the answer to. Why do cats purr? What's the...
I literally do this all the time. Like, I'll go on Quora, or I'll have a random question that I ask. Like, if I'm researching for a car or whatever, and I have to research something obscure, or like some weapons, or how people talk, or what the word means, XYZ. And I swear it helps me be productive.
The origin of money. How does memory actually work? Just 5 minutes. No pressure to become an expert. This habit keeps his brain in a constant state of learning agility. It's not just about knowledge. It's about mental range. Like stretching before a workout, it preps the mind for cognitive flexibility, divergent thinking, and novelty. Plus, it reminds him of something crucial. Intelligence isn't about knowing everything. It's about staying interested. Silent mornings. Cognitive warm-up in silence. On certain days, Jacob starts his morning in complete silence. No talking, no responding to texts, no calls. Why? Because silence isn't emptiness, it's preparation. The early hours are when the prefrontal cortex, the lot...
Yes, please wake up early and learn to listen to the silence and cultivate a sense of peace as you're starting your day, because that will like follow you throughout your entire day, like cultivating that sense of peace and like that time for meditation, and like it just helps you like with self-control, with dealing with like confrontational situations, maybe at work or with your family or whatever. It works.
Logic and Reasoning Center starts booting up. Silence gives it space to come online without distraction. Monks do it. CEOs do it. Even Nikola Tesla swore by silent mornings to spark mental clarity. In silence, Jacob doesn't feel empty. He feels sharp. By 9 a.m., he's already mentally ahead of the world. The teach-back trick, turning memory into mastery. Every evening, Jacob picks one thing he learned that day and explains it out loud, as if he's...
Yes. When I'm writing my books, I'm basically learning stuff and then trying to recontextualize that information and bring it into my own world, And I feel like that helps me understand concepts far better and helps me learn faster because I'm going through that process, if that makes sense.
Teaching it to a child. Why? Because teaching forces the brain to organize, simplify, and internalize. It's called the Feynman technique, and it's one of the most powerful tools for actual retention. Reading something isn't learning, but when you explain it in your own words, that's when the brain says, "Oh, I get this now." It only takes 5 minutes, but this habit turns information into intuition. Daily win. Wiring your brain for progress.
Yes, bro. Automatically, when you wake up, you need to get a win. And you need to be productive. Automatically, that sets the tone for your entire day. Like, if you're hooping, you should never leave on a miss. You should always leave on a made shot. Like, you need a win all the time. Like, yeah.
Right before sleep, Jacob asks himself, "What's one thing I did today that moved me forward?" Not, "What did I finish?" Not, "Did I do everything I planned?" Just, "What moved me forward, even a little?" This tiny shift rewires the brain to focus on progress, not perfection. And it matters, because most people go to bed replaying what went wrong. Jacob goes to bed in a mental state of momentum. Over time, his brain associates effort with reward. The result? Motivation that self-generates, even on the hard days. The Iron Mindset Workout, building grit through strength. Twice a week, Jacob walks into his apartment complex gym, not to become a bodybuilder, but to challenge his willpower. He does a short, focused strength training session. Dumbbells, body weight, compound movements. It's not glamorous, and no one's filming it. But he's training something deeper than muscle. Mental discipline. Pushing through resistance, quite literally, teaches his brain how to persist. It increases testosterone, sharpens focus, and releases brain-repairing chemicals like IGF-1. His thinking becomes clearer. His posture improves. His confidence rises, even when he's still sweating. This isn't about aesthetics. It's about teaching his brain that discomfort equals growth. And the beauty of it? You can carry it with you, mentally, long after the weights hit the floor. Meditation, where thoughts go to be quiet.
Yes. If you want to improve your life, this is probably top five tips you need to do immediately to get your life back on track is meditate. He's going to explain why.
Each morning before touching his phone, Jacob sits cross-legged on the floor, closes his eyes, and breathes. That's it. No mantras, no apps, just silence, breath.
But the purpose of meditation is to focus on your breathing, but to also retrain your mind to come back and retrain your focus to focus on things that you want to focus on, which is why whenever your mind wanders away from focusing on your breath, you try to bring it back and bring your consciousness to like understand that you need to focus on your breath in this moment, even if your mind is wandering off and stuff, and that just teaches your brain how to come back to itself and to focus, laser focus on the things that you want to focus on after you practice this.
And attention. This is his daily 10-minute meditation. He doesn't aim for enlightenment. He's just watching thoughts float by like leaves on a stream. Meditation isn't about clearing the mind. It's about watching the mind without reacting. That pause, between stimulus and response, that is where brain power lives. Studies show meditation physically grows the prefrontal cortex and shrinks the amygdala, making you calmer, more focused, and less impulsive. For Jacob, meditation is less of a habit and more like mental hygiene. Just as brushing your teeth cleans your mouth, this clears the mental clutter before his day even begins. Gratitude journaling, ending the day with light. At 10:45 p.m. after he's brushed his teeth,
Yes. Gratitude. That's going to change your mindset from always being depressed and sad and like ungrateful into something that's like you're always in a state of gratefulness. You're always appreciative. You're always happy. And you're always like, yes, bro, like gratitude is the top 5 things that you need to implement into your life to be more productive. It's just to be grateful, because we take everything for granted. Like, I try not to do that. Like, if I write 5 words, that's great. I'm grateful for that. If I write 5 pages, that's great. I'm grateful for that in the same way, because that's making progress. Irregardless. But irregardless isn't a word. But yes, please be grateful for everything. Just try to recall 3 things that you're grateful for every day and watch how happy you become in a month.
Ethan turned off the screens. Jacob pulls out a worn-out notebook. He writes down 3 things he's grateful for. Some days it's deep. Other times it's just good coffee or sunshine on my walk. Why? Because gratitude doesn't just feel good. It rewires your brain to notice the good. It reduces stress hormones, boosts serotonin, and even improves sleep quality.
I'm not capping, chat.
More importantly, it trains his brain to scan for wins, not problems. Over time, this changes Jacob's internal language, from what's missing to what's working. And when the brain learns to celebrate progress, even small wins fuel enormous growth. Napping. Power nap, powered brain. Sometime between 1 and 2 p.m.
Swear to God, chat. I took a nap today. Hold on, I had to take a drink of some lemonade. But swear to God, chat. I've been getting on myself recently because I just be laying in bed sometimes, or just chilling sometimes, or purposely resting sometimes. I've been like, but this is time you can be productive, and you always need to be productive, 24/7, all the time you can be productive. This is time you can be productive. That's how my brain works. But like today, I was like, all right, I'm gonna get to work in like 1 o'clock. After I woke up in the morning early. Let me start at 1 o'clock. I slept. I took a little nap until 2. But I wasn't upset at myself because I was like, the rest of this day is going to be completely productive. I'm rested. Like, and I was productive for the rest of the day. I'm doing this video right now. And it's hard for me to do videos. And I get super anxious. Like, I have to smoke after every video or before almost every video because I got drunk this time. But I have to smoke before every video and after every video because it gives me so much anxiety to talk to people. Because I have anxiety in real life.
When his focus begins to waver, Jacob doesn't push through like most people. He sets a 20-minute timer, lies on the couch, and closes his eyes. No alarms, no distractions. He's not lazy. He's recharging his brain. Naps, when done right, don't ruin your sleep. They enhance it. They improve memory consolidation, increase alertness, and even boost emotional regulation. It's like giving your brain a quick pit stop before racing into the second half of the day. Jacob wakes up sharper, calmer, and more ready than before, because sometimes the smartest thing you can do is rest. Social interaction, brain chemistry through connection.
Yes, bro. I'm an introvert. I can be by myself. I'm comfortable being by myself. I like being by myself, actually. Like, I moved away from all my friends because I was like, I can be alone. And be just cool with it now. Like, it don't bother me that much. Like, I'm my own best friend. I had to become my own best friend to figure that out. But you need social interaction and you need friends. Like, the only reason I did this video today was because I called my friend. And I was like, bro, I'm slacking. What can I do to be better? And he told me what I can do to be better, and we discussed it. And now I'm doing this video. Something that was haunting me for days and days and days. But yeah, bro, talk to friends and touch grass, please. I'm a manga writer. I don't touch grass. I don't go outside. I'm sitting here looking at this computer trying to figure out the story next because, first of all, it's good. And secondly, ain't no second. But you get the point of what I'm trying to say. Like, please talk to people.
Every day, no matter how busy he is, Jacob makes space for one real human interaction. Not texting, not voice memos, actual face-to-face connection. Sometimes it's a quick coffee with a friend. Sometimes a walk and talk with a coworker. No agenda, just presence. Why? Because oxytocin, released during real conversation and social bonding, is like emotional WD-40 for the brain. It reduces anxiety, strengthens memory, and improves verbal processing. But more than that, it keeps Jacob human. In a world of screens and speed, connection is the glue that keeps his inner world from unraveling. Sunlight exposure, lighting up the brain naturally. Every morning, rain.
This is something I've been trying to do more, like get outside and get sunlight. Yeah.
Rain or shine, Jacob steps outside within 30 minutes of waking up. Not to check the weather, not to get to work, just to stand in the sun. Why? Because natural sunlight in the morning signals to his brain. It's daytime, let's go. It boosts serotonin, anchors his circadian rhythm, and helps his body produce melatonin later that night. so his sleep is deeper, cleaner, and more effective. It's nature's alarm clock, mood booster, and brain charger, all in one. Even 5 minutes outside can be enough. Jacob just lets the light hit his face, breathes deeply, and gives his brain what it craves: rhythm and light. That's it. If you already do any of these habits, or know others that boosts your brain power,
Yeah, bro. Those are tips like that you can use, actionable steps that you can do starting today to change your life. And after a month, after a year, you're gonna be a completely different person than the person that you are. If you're sad right now, bro, there should be no reason why you're not trying to look at this video and trying to figure out what habit I can pick up to change my life. Yeah, bro. I don't know if you're gonna watch this other video. I might do a second part because getting your life together is a process. But this is good. This 5:30 a.m. You need to wake up at 5:30. That's all I'm gonna say about that. But we'll continue this in another video. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next.